What's up, guys? I am OJB, and I am hopefully the future owner of the ventilation shop. Some paperwork still working on some of that, but I wanted to start a video series of training videos for future employees. I think employee training is one of the most undervalued assets that a company could have, and I wanted to create a free program for my employees that are going to be, 5 to 15-minute videos, um, 2 to 3 a week, just a little bit of knowledge every week, just to get them, acclimated and caught up. Some of the stuff some people might know, some of the stuff might not know. This program is aimed at young adults. So let's just say you graduated high school and you're kind of interested in doing work like this. That's what these videos are aimed for. But I'm sure there's a lot of adults out, older gentlemen, that this might be beneficial to you. So that's great. So anyways, let me explain the type of work we do here. We are a sheet metal shop. Now, what is a sheet metal shop? A sheet metal shop deals with sheet metal. I got a piece right here. This is sheet metal. This is 24 gauge galvanized. It's just a piece of scrap. And we deal with things from, at least at this shop, the lowest we deal with is 26, which is pretty light. And the heaviest we go is 1/4 inch, which is considerably heavy. So, but this is sheet metal. And what we do with this is we fabricate and install products that solve issues. Now, the issues that we address here are for process lines. A process line, if you don't know what that is, in a factory, they might have a number of machines that are in order. Product comes in and it starts at one end of the process line, and then by the end, it is something completely different. So let me give you an example. One of our customers makes power line cables, okay? So at one end of the facility, they have a bunch of copper, and just raw copper. And by the time it gets to it, they braid it, they twirl it, they cover it in the insulation, the rubber, and then they, put in giant spools, and by the end, it's power line cable that people go and hang, okay? So these process lines, they could be anywhere from, maybe just 20 feet long to 200 feet long. Depends on how many steps in the process there are. A lot of these process lines, they need ventilation, they need safety guards, sometimes they need chutes, hoppers, conveyor covers. That's the type of stuff we do here, okay? We provide custom fabrication and ventilation work for process lines, okay? So, like I said, there's many processes. There's, like I said, power line cables. Book Factory is a different process line that we do some work at. Food, right? Food packaging. Medical, it starts out at one end of the facility as something, and it comes out at the end as another, right? So that's what we do. So industrial ventilation, industrial fabrication. But other things, just to give you an idea of the scope, outside of fabrication, there's HVAC we cover. HVAC stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. And generally when people think of HVAC, they think of residential, like your furnace in your house and the ductwork. We don't do that, but that does fall under the type of work I'm talking about. Commercial buildings, they got spiral ductwork, rooftop units. We do a little bit of that, but like I said, the bread and butter of what we do here is the ventilation part of that and custom fabrication, right? Also, architectural work would count under the sheet metal trade. So this would be like if you ever see a building with a metal roof or metal siding, that sheet metal guardrail on like the side of the highway, stuff of that nature also falls. I believe, at least in my local, there's a division or a subsection that works on building trains, because we are in Chicagoland, so that's a big thing out here. So that falls under our jurisdiction as too. So metal work with, again, light thin metal to 1/4 inch plate. Usually, I believe it's after 1/4 inch. That's Boilermakers. If that's what you're more interested in, I'm sure there's plenty of videos on YouTube. But anyways, that's what we do here. That's what we do here, and that's what these training videos are kind of going to be aimed at and understanding. Okay, so what type of videos we're going to have? Well, there will be. I'll try to do every week 3 videos in the following subjects. We'll try to do 1 fabrication video a week, 1 field tip for the week, and 1 tool, like how to use a tool video in a week. And these, so 2 to 3 a week, get you kind of acclimated. There's a lot. There's a lot. And I'm going to be the first to say I don't know everything. And I don't think there's any particular sheet metal worker out there that knows everything. It just depends on what their niche is. Example, like I said, we don't do residential. If you were to ask me, you know, how to do a residential furnace, that's not something I'm going to be able to help you with. You ask me how to hook up welded ductwork from a printing press to an oxidizer, that's something I'm going to be able to know every step along the way. You ask me to get a 48-inch stack from the floor up through a 40-foot roof and out straight up, how do you install that? That's something I'm going to be able to help you with. So again, different niches have different skill sets, and I'm trying to impress upon you, that's what we're going to be focused on here. So I hope this introduction kind of gives you an insight of the type of stuff we're going to be talking about. And again, these videos are going to be very basic. I'm really trying to impress upon you that I think I've watched a lot of tradesman videos, and sometimes there are assumptions of more, you know, there's an assumption in the background that people know more than they actually do. And like I said, these videos are not going to be for people that have been doing this for decades on end. This is going to be like, you know, you just graduated high school, or maybe you're in high school and you're thinking about getting into this. That's the level of simplicity I'm going to try to provide in these videos. So let me just give you some things to know if this is for you. And these are probably my 5. I just want to end this with my 5 things I kind of wish I knew going in. And I'm going to start with the worst. You got to have a little bit, and I don't know how else to word this, high tolerance for pain. And I don't mean like you're going to be in pain all the time. That's not what I'm talking about. It's just there's sometimes you're put into uncomfortable positions. You're on a lift, you're grinding. It's not always, you know, you might prick your fingernails. I got plenty of battle scars. A little bit of a pain tolerance is needed. And I'm going to be honest, generally the biggest pain tolerance, and I know this might surprise people, is sometimes dealing with other people. I'm going to be honest, I have met the most wonderful people doing this, like really down to earth, very skilled, very nice folks doing this. And I've also met the opposite. Like we're talking, you know, show up late to the job, they gotta sleep in their vehicle because they're hungover. Kind of not nice folk. Okay, I've met the whole spectrum. Okay, so you're gonna meet very nice people and you're gonna meet very cranky people, as I like to put it. And I think in any job, that's gonna occur. But like I said, you're gonna meet some characters. So that's the first thing I want you to be aware of. The second thing is you gotta like physical labor, right? I'm actually a gym rat. I like lifting heavy shit. I think it's fun. So obviously this is kind of like goes in with that, right? I like lifting heavy shit as a hobby. So it makes sense doing some sort of physical activity for work would fall into my purview. That's 2. The third thing is you gotta be good with basic math. There's no way around this. You're going to be added. I'm not talking like you need advanced calculus. Just basic addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, stuff of that nature. So just be aware of that. There is math involved in this. And this one I think is a little bit surprising for folks. You gotta have a little bit of an artistic flair to this. There is an art to it. A lot of times, and I'm gonna be real with you. You will be taught that, oh, you're gonna get drawings and blueprints and stuff of that nature. The majority of customers I deal with, okay, I'm not saying this is everyone, but the majority of customers that I deal with and the type of work I do, they just know what they want. They've got no drawings, no idea how to get there. So you gotta be a little creative in searching for their solution. I'm just telling you. When I was coming up and I went to apprenticeship school, we had like 2 years on blueprint reading. And they taught us how to read spec books and the whole thing, and then I got into the real world, and the best I usually get is a hand drawing that not even with dimensions, just like the visual shape they want it to look like, and said, I'm kind of looking for this. That's actually what that's actually what ends up happening for me 95% of the time. I am shocked actually when I get a drawing. And like I said, when I do get a drawing, it's very basic. It's not detailed oriented. So just you're gonna have to be a little, have a little bit of a love for creativity and art in this. Okay, I know it doesn't seem like that, but you will have to get creative in this field. And that's about it, guys. That's the big things. And like I said, the creative part's really the part that I enjoy the most. But everyone's different. The thing I would not do this for, a lot of people talk about the pay, and the pay can be good. The pay can be very excellent. But just make sure that you enjoy the aspects of it. Like I said, I don't enjoy 100% of everything I do. I mean, I don't think anyone really likes being on a lift 40 feet up in the air getting rained on. But the other stuff I do enjoy, right? So I even enjoy the people, even some of the troublemakers. I kind of enjoy handling those situations. But if this sounds like something you want to do, awesome. So anyways, guys, this is the introduction video. I'm hoping these training videos are good. I'm hoping they are knowledgeable. Like I said, they're going to be very basic. And also on the channel, I'll have shorts. I'll take video pictures of some of the stuff we fabricate. Obviously, some of the places I can't take pictures. They don't, the end user doesn't want. These process lines have secrets. I don't really understand what the secrets they're trying to protect, but they got secrets, so sometimes they don't let us take pictures of the process line, or if they do, they have to look at them to make sure everything's okay. But so that will be the type of stuff I post on here. So again, if you're interested in this and you're working here, this is literally something I'm making for hopefully future employees. And tell them, go do a training video 1 or 2 a week. So I hope everyone is on the same page, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Later.